flight crew? What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another flight. Welcome to another stream on the Xbox S. Flight crew, I'm your host. I am your captain, Phoenix Black Knight. Welcome aboard, everybody, and welcome back. It's Sunday. It's the first day of a week of our stream, everybody, which means it's Sunday, which means we are flying, which means we are back, flight crew, which means we are live, ready to go, flight crew. We are live and happening right now. Good news to report. All weekend, last flight, as you remember, I told you I was going to work with the McDo to see if that was able to go with the Xbox S, if we're able to create a flight plan, just sitting here in the cold and dark spot, flying around. And you know what? I flew all weekend, and it is possible, flight crew. It is possible. I have not done an international flight, as in it's all just been domestic in the United States, but it has worked. It has worked countless times. It actually flies better doing it this way than listening to the ATC. I don't know if that's even possible, flight crew, but it is. It is. It's actually really cool. So hopefully everything translates to streaming live, but with that, flight crew. So if you've seen the settings, flight crew, we're in Williamsburg. We flew there on Thursday, right? And we were supposed to fly from Williamsburg into somewhere else in the United States or just somewhere else in Canada. Williamsburg doesn't play friendly with the Airbus 320 family. There's not a lot of planes. Airbus is a flight out. There's none, actually. This is the only route back to Minnesota is the 320. Airbus is the only Williamsburg we can get out that would do a flight for us. So, unfortunately, from Williamsburg, we got to go back to Minnesota. Not a big deal, but we can get from Minnesota from tomorrow out of Minnesota, go somewhere else. But with this stream, we are going back into Minnesota, flight crew, and we are using the same aircraft that we flew in with, the A320 Delta livery. Just right there, flight crew. Do some flight. Look, there's another Delta 424. There's one of our fellow pilots right there, flight crew. All right. All right, flight crew. Without any further ado, let's get into our flight briefing, tell you what's going on with our flight plan and sim brief, and then let's enter that into the plane and show you how we do it. All right, let's pull sim brief up. Like I said, we are Delta, so our call sign today, flight crew, is going to be Delta 6242. We are in Winnipeg, Canada. Like I mentioned, we're going to take off and go back into St. Paul, Minnesota. We're in the aircraft 320. Today's date is August 27, 2023. Today is a departure times. The real world flight that we're mocking or imitating is at 10:55 in the morning. So this flight's at 10:55 in the morning, flight crew. Estimated arrival is at 12:16 according to SimBrief. Airtime 53 minutes according to SimBrief, and a block time of 1 hour and 21 minutes to finish the flight, flight crew. Cruising altitude is going to be 35,000 feet. This is what the Delta flight took off and planned, was 35,000 feet. So we're going to imitate them and go up to 35,000 feet as well. Cost index is going to be 5. Remember that, because we're going to put that into the McDo. Distance for flying is 352 nautical miles. Wind is 303 over 44 knots, flight crew. Passengers on today's flight is 177 on board. Bulk fuel, remember this as well, flight crew. Bulk fuel, 13,867 pounds. We got to remember that. Total payload is 40,710 pounds as well. We got to remember that for the McDo as well, and for our flight crew. All right, let's go down to our flight path and see where we're going. Right now, we're in Winnipeg, Canada, like we mentioned. When we go to take off, we're taking off of runway 18, flight crew. SimBrief wants us off of runway 18. We go direct into YWG is our transition now. YWG. And then we go direct again to ELETO. Our transition down into St. Paul, Minnesota. We're looking to be wheels down on runway 12, right? 12, right? I believe that's an ILS runway. I believe it is. We'll have to see what the McDo says. I believe it's a 12 ILS runway. With the transition down of BAINV. That's our transition down to St. Paul, Minnesota. Is B, Bravo, A as in Alpha, I as in Igloo, N as in Nancy, Y as in Yo-Yo. All right, flight crew. There you go. You guys have been briefed as well. Let's go ahead and get the weather right now in Winnipeg. We are looking at Winnipeg right now, we're looking at 72 degrees and cloudy skies in Winnipeg. We'll verify that in a second. When we go into Minnesota, clear skies, clear skies. I apologize. Right now we're clear skies in Winnipeg at 72 degrees, clear skies, flight crew. When we go down to St. Paul, Minnesota, we are looking at 65 degrees and mostly cloudy skies into St. Paul, Minnesota. All right, flight crew, perfect. That is our flight briefing. That's our sim brief. And let's go ahead and get our plane ready for passengers. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's go up here. Let's get the AI. He's always on. Turn him off. Oh, also, we're not flying with ATC today, flight crew. For this to work with, it doesn't work with the ATC putting in our own flight plan. So we have to turn the ATC off to have our own flight plan work. On top of that, that helps us with our pushback as well. You'll see we'll be able to steer the pushback. So that's actually pretty cool as well. So let's go here to our electronic bag. Let's go ahead and hit the ground services. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully everything is okay. Let me go over here real quick. Yeah, perfect. Ground services. Let's go ahead and get the GPU, tones around the plane, air conditioner connected to the plane. Let's turn on the lights. Okay, perfect, flight crew. Let's come over here real quick. Right panel, we got to make that bright so we can see our flight plan when we go ahead and create it. So let's do that. Nice and bright, right up there. That nice and bright as well. Okay, flight crew. Let's go down to the McDo. Right here, perfect. We're just gonna go over here to the right. We're gonna make this bright so we can see it. Plus, I have sunglasses on, so I have to have it bright anyway. Okay, bright. Let's go ahead to the NIT page. Here we are, perfect. We are in. I pull my sim brief out. Let's go, Canada. Okay, Williamsburg. All right, so we're gonna type in right now. We're gonna type in CYWG. 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 Better not embarrass me. It's better to not embarrass me. Let's go hashed. And then we're going to go to the St. Paul, Minnesota, which is going to be KM. I believe it's SP. KMSP, correct. KMSP. Perfect. Let's go ahead and enter that to the from and to section. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the return. There we go. Let's go ahead and see our alternate airport. Alternate airport is going to be KMSM. So we can go KM as in Mary, S as in Sam, N as in Nancy. That is our alternate airport. Don't know where that is, but we'll do that. Our flight number is going to be 6242. 6242 Delta 6242. That is our flight number. Perfect. All right. Cost index. Remember, I believe that was 5, correct? It was 5. 5 is our cost index. Flight troop. Let's put 5 in. Let's go ahead and put the cost index there. Cruising altitude, what I mentioned, was 35,000 feet. Was to 350. Enter that in right there. 35,000 feet. That is automatically calculated. Perfect. NIT B page. This should be already. Xbox S series does this for you automatically. Boom. Push that in. Bulk fuel should be 10.2. Let's see what our fuel is up here. It is at 10.1. Perfect. Like we're speaking of fuel, we do need to do our weight and balance. And everything like that, and get the fuel and get the plane fueled if it gives us that does. And the fuel supply takes a while to come. That's another thing, flight crew. You're going to see it for the first time today. When we request fuel supply, it takes a minute for it to come. It takes a minute. So let's request fuel supply. Fuel supply is on its way. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to the flight plan now. Let's actually build our flight plans. So we got Calgary into St. Paul, Minnesota. Calgary. Winnipeg. All right, so what's it here? We're going ahead and hit the departures. And then departures again, sim brief. Let's go down to our flight plan. 18, they want us off of runway 18. There it is right there. Runway 18 with the transition of, let's see, YWG. There it is. YWG, hit that. With the transition of that, no other transitions needed. So we'll go ahead and insert that. Why did that not take off? Like, why did that not take it? Interesting. From departures, we're doing 18. Correct. We will do this. No transition. Insert. Interesting. Rivals. Let's see what happens with rivals. We're going to go on 12 right. which is going to be LOC visual runway 12 right with the transition of this right here, BAINV3 is the transition. Let's go ahead and insert that flight crew. Let's go return. Perfect. Calgary, interesting why our flight plan, it looks like they just want us direct out. Is that, the flight plan that we have on SimBrief, let me just verify flight crew. Maybe we are doing it correctly. I mean, it is a straight out departure. All right, we'll leave it as is, and we'll just say it's a straight out departure flight crew because we have put that in multiple times. So I'm gonna believe, yeah, we're just a straight out departure until we go there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in the flight plan. This is the verify flight crew. What we're gonna do is we're gonna look at our right display right there. We're gonna come up a little bit. We're gonna put this knob right here, our informational map, put that on the plan, and now you can see exactly what our plan is, and we can go by vector and see, make sure we have no weird turns. So it looks like we straight out and go to the left. And if we come down here, flight crew, I'm gonna go look right here, flight crew, and we're just gonna go through our vectors one by one and make sure there's no weird turns. Okay, it looks like we're to the right, straight to the left, straight to the right. Then looks like we horseshoe it. Okay, there's our end of our flight plan, flight crew. Come right on in, right there to our visual runway. So let's go back, make sure there was nothing crazy. Right. That's where we're taking off from. Right. And we look good, flight crew. We look okay. We'll go with that. We can also zoom this out as well if you want and want to see a wider, broader view of it. And then go ahead and get it like this. Yeah, there's our flight path. Okay, we're okay with that. All right, let's go ahead and hit the flight plan, leave it there. Come back to the captain's seat. Fuel just got here. Look at that, flight crew. Fuel just got here, and now it's telling us what we need to do. Okay, so bulk fuel for today's flight is 13,867 pounds. So let's go up here to the gallons. Let's put this in the pounds. There's our fuel right there, flight crew. If you come down here, we're looking right here. So fuel / max allowable fuel weight. Let me come in here so you can hear me. Fuel / max allowable fuel weight. So the max fuel this plane can hold is 44,903 pounds. Right now it's set up for 22,400. It's just a standard that loads that. We want them to pump in 13,867 pounds of fuel for today's flight. So right here on the fuel, we're going to move that number. Look at this number right here, flight crew, the pounds. We're going to move this number down to 13,000. Closest we can get to 13,867. 13,000. Looks like we can get to 13,000. 13,004 is not enough. 13,900 is just enough. We need to be at 13,800, so let's go above it. Perfect. Same thing on the payload, flight crew. Same thing on the payload. Now we're going to come down here. Here's the payload. It's our default at 27,920. Our payload, according to SimBrief, says we need to be at 40,710. So we want to put that at 40,710, or the closest to it. 40,000. So the closest we can get to 40,710 pounds is 41,145 pounds right there. Okay, perfect. We can accept that for fuel. We'll accept that. Okay, there goes the fuel truck. All right, flight crew, we are okay. Let's go ahead and come over to the electronic bag now. Let's go ahead and get the jetway coming our way. And let's get the main cabin. Oh, they're going the other way. Of course. Seatbelt sign comes on. No smoking sign comes on at this time. Let's go ahead and turn on the nav light. Everything else is done by the tablet. We'll leave that there. Let's go ahead and illuminate up here. Alright, that works, flight crew. Let's come over here to the electronic bag one more time. Let's go ahead and close this. Actually, we won't close it. Let's open it. Let's say everybody's boarding by buses, then we don't have to do it the jetway. So get rid of the jetway. We're not going to use that. We're going to open this main cabin door. We're going to go ahead and do the stairs right here. We'll go to the back of the plane, and we'll do stairs back there as well, flight crew. We'll say we're just getting bussed in. We won't use the jetway. Everybody's getting bussed in. Okay, let's go over here and finish getting the plane set up the way we like to fly. We already did our right display to see where our flight plan and everything is, so we'll just do the left display right there. Let's go move the camera, all right? Come over here. We don't need our floodlights on since this is a 10:55 in the morning flight, but we will illuminate this right here. All right, hit our terrain. That comes on. Flight directory comes on. Informational map. Leave that on plan for now because we got to request our takeoff, which was we're going to be going south. Nautical range, let's put that on 10 because we're under 10,000 feet. Speed, we're going to leave that in the managed position for now. Heading, we're going to leave that in the managed position because we just created our flight plan in the McDo. That's right. Almost forgot there, flight crew. We need our transitional altitude and our takeoff and our V-speed. Woo. Woo. Performance page. Oh, it's already calculated it for us. Perfect. Yep, sometimes it does that. So, it already calculated, but usually, flight crew, you got your V1, you got your VR, and you got your V2 speeds right here that you enter in. Plus, you got your, there's another section right here. It says when you want to start your transition start your climb to your cruising altitude. Usually you set that about 5,000 feet, 9,000 feet. That's usually when you start your climb to your cruising altitude. Usually that's right here as well. But Xbox, I mean, I don't know the inconsistency. Some flights it's there, some flights it's not. I can't figure out which one's which. But anyway, we would usually start our climb about 5,000, 6,000 feet, whatever tower told us to. It would say right there. And then on this side, we would enter in flaps 1 for takeoff. We would hit 1 and put it in here, flaps 1 for takeoff. But that's not there as well for this. Maybe it's just this type of runway, since it's only runway 18, I'm not sure, but we would put flaps 1 there, flight crew. But since we don't have to do that, we're going to go ahead and just leave that on the flight plan. Let's scroll through it real quick. Let's see what the default flight plan is on this. Looks like the default is the default altitude. I just want to know what their default altitude they're going on. Looks like they only have it up to 14,000 feet. But don't forget our nip pad. 35,000 feet is what we put in. Alright, perfect. Let's go back to the captain seat to the captain view. Boarding process is there. Flight crew, let's come over here. Actually, let's go to the tablet. Let's hit the catering services. ATC. Baggage services. Alright, perfect. Do some plane spotting, flight crew. That Delta already pushed back and took off. That's how long I've been talking. Holy cow, I apologize. There's a lot to go over. How long has the plane been on for? 24 minutes. That's not too bad. Let's get the passengers. There we go. That's not too bad. Showed you, we went through and created the McDo. Had a little problem with the McDo. I think we're just straight out though. And then we follow it straight in. Oh, flight crew, let me show you this as well. If you go ahead and hit this, this tells you what you should be at on your flight plan altitude-wise. See, altitude-wise, when we go to take off, we should be at 1,180 feet. That purple right there does that. If you take away that, there's no purple, doesn't tell you what your indicator is, what altitude you should be at. So just let you know as well, if you play on the Xbox S, if you hit that, that would tell you what altitude you should be at that vector. So we're going to fly with that on. Winnipeg. How much? How much going on? Well, this is a small airport, right? Oh, look at that, flight crew, ground crew. Looks like they're wrapping up. Baggage crew is, at least anyway. And looks like catering is as well. Let's jump back inside the plane. Let's go back to our electronic bag. Let's hit the home section. Let's go to the settings and let's turn on our APU. Perfect. APU is going to turn on. Plane's going to come alive again. Let's hit the APU bleed. Now, this time, let's hit our beacon light. Perfect. Seatbelt sign and smoke sign is already on. We'll leave all that set. We don't have our dome line on. We're getting enough light from the sun. Alright, let's go over here. Electronic bag again. Maybe. There it is. That's it. That. Let's go back to the ground crew. I still want the GPU connected. I still want the cones around the plane. We're still not cleared. All right, let's go ahead and hit the ATC at this time, flight crew. We're going to go ahead and get our clearance. We're going to depart going south. So right here, we're going to request taxi departure south. There we go. Short runway 8. Hold short of runway 8. That is exactly where we want to go. We're going to acknowledge that. That's where we want to go. We won't hit tower on yet. All right, perfect. Let's go back to here. Let's get rid of the steps. Boarding process is done according to us. We're going to shut that back door. We're going to shut that main cabin door. Now we'll clean up the plane. Let's go ahead and get the GPU disconnected. We'll go ahead and get the cones removed from the plane. Let's get the air conditioner disconnected as well. We do have the APU up and on. Perfect. Flight crew, what we're going to do now is we're going to hit our ground services. And then we are going to request our pushback. And then, there we go. And this is the part I was talking about, flight crew. Now we have control since we don't have the ATC talking. We have the control to steer the plane now, so now we don't have to go forward and always turn. Now we can actually back up and just go straight. So we're coming along. We're growing up. All right, let's put the camera right here, ready for pushback to be connected, so we can release that brake. There it is. It's connected. Releasing the brake. Turn the ATC on. We're going to turn the plane. Well, now let's turn it to the Look at that, flight crew. We can do that now. We can turn our plane. Oh, we're growing up. Like I mentioned, we're just becoming so efficient. You know, moments like this just make me proud. Alright, let's see where he's going. Let's just keep going. We have to stop it, by the way. AI won't stop it by ourselves. So what we'll do is we'll just make this straight, then we'll request stop, right? Let's hit stop. Perfect. Let's go inside. Let's hit the parking brake. Let's go hit that. Let's hit the engine mode. Let's go from the normal position to the start position. Let's go ahead and turn on the tower now. Let's get this out of the way. Ground crew is cleared. Let's go over here. You guys can see the engines. Actually, yeah, we're not going to do it. It doesn't sound well. We'll actually stay inside here. Let's start up engine 2. Enjoy it. Two was at 20% in holding. We'll go ahead and start engine 1. Nice little pushback right. Nice little pushback right. We're looking kind of a little bit official, a little more. Little Quito. engine one's at 11%. There's 12. That's good enough to check the flaps. Let's come down. Flaps go to 100%. Ground spoilers, let's bring those up. Make sure those are up and working. Drone camera comes out. Flaps are going down. Ground spoilers are up and on. We are happy with that, flight crew. We are happy with that. Let's put these all the way back up to 0 because the tablet's going to do the rest. Ground spoilers as well go here. Tablet will do that. Engine mode, let's go from the start position back to the normal position. Let's go ahead and turn off the APU bleed, turn off the APU master. Perfect, everything else stays on. Look, let's go over here, flight crew. Let's calibrate our stick. Joystick to the left, we're going to calibrate that. So let's go ahead and calibrate that. Let's move it to the up. Neutral. Down. Neutral. Left. Neutral. Right. Neutral. One more time. We're going to go up this time. Up. Neutral. Down. Neutral. Let's go right. Neutral. Left. Perfect. Flight crew, we are ready to taxi. Ground services. Home on the electronic bag. Maybe. There it is. Hit here. Ready to. Oops, I should. We were already here. Ready to taxi. Hit that. There we go. Let's go ahead and hit the plane information. So now we got a ground speed. We hit ready for taxi, which means flight crew. That put our runway lights on. Our landing lights are in the restricted position. Nose light is in the taxi position. Beacon light and our nav light still staying on. We are ready to taxi, and that put our wings from 0% down to 10%. All right, let's go up to the captain's seat. To the captain. We're just going to scoot forward a little bit, like that, and then we're just going to sit up a little bit, like that. All right, flight crew, I'm happy with that. Engines and power. Look down. We're going to release that parking brake. We have forward momentum. Much better on the pushback and the startup. Look at that. Much better than the always sharp turn, 180 turn. Now we just go straight. Oh, flight crew, we're just growing. All right, let's do our panoramic soon as we. Not really straight away. Just expand to the left a little bit. How long did it take us to taxi, flight crew? 34 minutes before we started the taxi. How long the plane has been on for? 34. How we do it. We're in real world right now. Don't forget we're departing to the south, flight crew. Speaking of that, informational map, we're going to put that in ARC. There's our straightaway. It's not long, but we'll give Canada one more shout out, right? WC. And we're bouncy. I wonder if that's what's flying online. We flew offline once. Remember me mentioning on the last video that we weren't bouncing. This one we're bouncing. Is it flying with real world? But the generic sucks. There's no generic flights. There's no plane watching on if you have just generic AI offline. Nothing. Alright, Williamsburg. Give it this circle here. We probably won't come back because it doesn't play friendly. It only goes to Minnesota. So this is probably the last time we're here, flight crew. Take it in. This is probably the last time we'll be at this airport. Unfortunately. another bounce. You see, flight crew, you guys seeing them bouncing? Man. Look at that. Look, only plane ready to take off. It's a small airport. Ground speed we're going right now is 7 miles per hour. Engines, we got them at 37%. Oh, flight crew. We are bouncing all over the place. No front flips. I have to remember, flight crew, when this flight is over, to go back in and set a flight plan up at the beginning of the main menu on this Xbox S to see if it's just a direct out. Because that's the case, then that makes sense. If we ever fly to any other airports, and we have that, we know it's direct. I didn't pre-look. I wanted everything to be new, so that way, like a real pilot, we would have to, think on the fly what do we got to do. So I did not be a good streamer and preload to make sure everything worked beforehand. This is all fresh. So maybe I should start doing that. But that's good to know going forward. If you guys play on the Xbox S, if you see that in your McDo, or if you already know that, awesome. If you don't, maybe we found out maybe that just means you just got to fly direct out. Maybe. Look at that flight crew. That's nice, man. That's foliage. Green, green, green. Put the zoom camera right there, see results of our takeoff. And we are just cruising. Like, what's the ground speed right now? 22 miles per hour. We're going way too fast. I think we're about 20. What's our engines at right now? 35%? Yeah, we pick up speed. Also, guys, on the weight and balance towel, I don't know if you know, Xbox does it automatically for you when you add in the fuel on your payload. It automatically balances the plane out for you, so you have even balance. Just to give you a heads up. At least on mine it does. On my Xbox it does it on. I don't know if that's a setting. I tried to go through the settings to see if that was a thing or not. So just to give you a heads up. I remember that when we landed. I remember we taxied all the way down this when we landed here. Yep, I remember. It's all coming back. Alright, flight crew, this is us right here. Alright, we're going to hold short. I'm going to go ahead, not yet. We're still moving a little bit. So. Alright, let's go ahead. Engines to the neutral position. Alright. I'm going to do a nice stop. Let's hold short. Parking brake set. Let's see what ATC wants us to do. We gotta go west for takeoff, flight crew. So let's go ahead and request takeoff. 1 hour, 2 minute, 29.95. Wind at 197. Alright, 29.95. Acknowledge that. We are cleared for takeoff, flight crew. Let's get rid of that. Let's do this. Let's turn AI. He is good to go from here on out. Let's go ahead and hit the engines. Releasing the parking brake. Stopwatch. Actually, hang on. I gotta see the turn. Then we'll do the stopwatch. Gotta see the turn, flight crew, and then we'll do the stopwatch. Let's make our call to the people on board. Flight crew, prepare for takeoff. Alright, flight crew, prepare for a rolling takeoff. Let's go. First flight with the McDo. Let's get straight. There we go. Stopwatch. Engine's 50. Engine's at 50 and holding. Look down to the right. Going up alive, coming down the same way. Engine flex. No front flip, flight crew. No front flip, no front flip, no front flip. Here's 80 knots. Whoa. I saw a little bit. Come on, we just gotta get in the air. Don't front flip us. 120. 21. Rotating 15 degrees, flight crew. We're up in the air, positive time. Let's move gears up. We are immediate turn to the left. Like we're going to transition at 9,000 feet. We're going to come up here. 9,000 feet is ended. Hit that. Pull the nose of the plane down a little bit. Get it down to 10%. Flight crew, let's prepare to get transition to the autopilot. Transition to the autopilot. Autopilot is engaged. We're going to go ahead and disarm our spoilers. Ooh. Okay. Takeoff. There we go. Oh, we go. Alright, we're going to go clean flaps. Beautiful departure. Electronic bag. Let's hit the home. Let's go to the ground services, which kick off the light now, and then let's go back again. Let's go to the plane information. 245 miles per hour and climbing. Flight crew going up to 200, and it looks like we're going up to 240 knots is where our managed speed's taking us today. Look at these 250. Alright, there's 9,000 feet coming up right now. That is our transition to our altitude. So let's go ahead and bug up. Let's go over, you guys can see it. We're going to put up, like I said, 34,000 feet is our cruising altitude. 34, right, flight crew? 35. 35 altitudes and everything. We'll put that in the managed position. Nautical range, put that up to 20 because we're going to go above 10,000 feet. What is up with our managed speed? Hang on, flight crew. We're okay. Alright. For some rare reason, must have hit a button. Here, we got it under control. We're good. 35,000 feet is our cruising altitude. Is going to be our cruising altitude. I put 35,000 feet in. We put it in the managed position. We are going to go leave our speed in the managed position. It was going crazy. It was going clear up. It should be at 250 knots right now because we're below 10,000 feet. For some reason, it was just cranking us real fast. I think it's because we left it in the flex position. I must have hit a button after takeoff and we put it back in the flex. So now we're just bringing our speed back. We got it back under control. We're okay, flight crew. At this time, though, let's go ahead and ring the seatbelt sign one time. Let's release our crew so they can prepare for services. Alright, as soon as we hit 240 knots, there it is, we should start our climb. Maybe, like, what is going on? I've never done this before. But we're not climbing for some weird reason. That will climb, but interesting. Every other flight I've done, if you put it in the managed position, it has climbed just fine. Okay, alright. Let's see how this plays out. There's our climb, coming up to 9,500 feet. Let's get ready for free climb, which means our landing lights go to the nose light goes off, landing lights go to the off position. Let's turn those off. Nose light goes to the off position as well. Wing light doesn't come on during the tablet, that's perfect. Strobe light comes on. We are all over the place today. What happened? All this. Alright. Strobe light is on. Beacon light is on. Logo light is on. Landing lights are in the off position. Nose light is in the off position. Runway light is off. Seatbelt sign is on. No smoking sign on. Man. I'm so worried about everything else. Forgot all the basics though. The fact that our managed to not work is very interesting. Their flight crew. is not even working, flight crew. Our speed should be up 320. Interesting why I did this. So flying direct is, the only thing different is we didn't do a departure out. Because it's direct, so I wonder. Huh. Right. So there was always something. $320. Put it in the manage my speed. I'm gonna put 320 on. That is interesting. There's always something, flight crew, but it's all the flights I did this weekend. I didn't have one with the departure direct. At least we know it's direct. I'm chalking it up to why the manage isn't working and why the auto speed is not working. It's the only thing different. Altimeter, put that on the standard position now. Coming up on 17,300 feet, flight crew. Right now we reached 320 knots. We should hold that to our descent. Alright, flight crew, in the back of our mind, while we're sitting here, let's see, we need to keep our vector, what is our descending altitude? So we're not using ATC to tell us. So we're going to go ahead and hit flight plan. This is where we're at right now. On this flight plan, they have the cruising altitude, like, I knew something. Cruising altitude to them is at 20,000 feet is what they got. So on our descent, on our big do, we'll go down to 20,000, then we'll go 17, 11. So remember at, let's see, let's go up more. How long are we on this? 200, 100 nautical miles. Yeah, we got to get down to 20,000 feet when we hit MILAC, which is in 200 nautical miles. That, like, this is going to be actually going to be our next vector. Just passing 24,200 feet. We're straight, right? Like, we're straight. 34,000. We're climbing about 1,400 feet per minute. We're at 24,000 feet. Haven't seen any turbulence. It's a very short flight. Seatbelt sign comes off. Make the call to the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now free to move about the cabin. We do ask though, if you do not need to move about the cabin, you stay in your seat with the seatbelt fastened, just in case we hit unexpected turbulence. Call has been made, flight crew. .504 miles per hour on the ground speed. Looks like we're going with the wind. Wind's blowing from the nose of the tail of the plane to the nose of the plane. Giving us some boosted speed, that's why we're able to go 507 miles per hour. We got a late start on our climb up, so I don't know if we're going to make 35,000 feet. We got a late start because we did leave it in the Manus position for a couple miles, noticing that we weren't climbing. So up our speed back. We go 270. We're just doing everything the Manus speed should have been doing right now. So the Manus speed would have dropped us anywhere from 280 to 270. I'm dropping us down to 270. Now we're gaining and climbing faster. Alright, flight crew, we're okay. We're looking okay. We're looking okay. We are looking okay. Just past 30,500 feet, still going up, flight crew, to 35,000 feet. We don't start our descent till, looks like we have 166 more nautical miles to go. I wish this told you right here. This is supposed to tell you, this phase right here is supposed to tell you how many more miles you have to your top of your descent. It doesn't say it right here on the Xbox S. I wish it did. Yeah, it's supposed to say, hey, you have 360 nautical miles until you. It says it on everybody's supercomputer. It says everybody that, but the Xbox, why are they giving it to us? Why would they do it? New speed. Get 20,000 feet, flight crew, is what we wanted to send down to get back on this flight path, flight plan, I should say. 20,000 feet. We only had this flight cruising out to 24,000. Simbury though, the flight that we're mimicking went 35,000. Yeah, well, when we get here, 20,000 feet, we'll go all the way. to our view, right? Right there. Right. Slow Airbus crawl. We are at 1,000 feet per minute, flight crew. On the climb, holding 270 knots. This our top of artists, and you should, but if not, at least we know it's right here. So next part usually gives us that little hash mark, comma, I want to call it. What you would call it, but usually they would put it like right there. Hopefully we see that. It's been on every other flight, but like I said, the only thing different on this flight is the direct out. So now I know. Oh, there it is right there. There's the top of our descent, flight crew. Right there. There's our comma. That is the top of our descent. Yeah, where is it? Where is that? Oh, never mind. It's blue. That is where we're going to reach our cruising altitude. That's where we're going to hit. Estimated to hit our 35,000. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Yep, that's where we're gonna hit 35,000. Just passing 34,000 right now, flight crew. $517 miles per hour. The wind, let's see what the wind is blowing right now, since we do have our cruising altitude briefing coming up. Wind is at 63 knots right now. Remember 63 when we go over our cruising altitude, see what sim brief puts it at. 63, this bumped up to 64. 64 knots on the wind. Let's remember it. 520 miles per hour on the ground speed. 34,500 feet, flight crew. That's good enough for me to start prepping for cruising altitude, flight crew. Let's do it. Pull sim brief back up again. If you just jumped on board, if you just jumped on the stream, I am Phoenix Black Knight. I'm your captain. I am your host. Welcome and welcome aboard. We are playing Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox S right now. Xbox S paddle. We are just at cruising altitude. We're actually going over a cruising altitude briefing. So let's do it, flight crew. Let's go outside, show you guys the lever. We are Delta. Aircraft we're flying is the Delta 320. Our call sign is Delta 6242. We just took off of Williamsburg, Canada, and we're going into St. Paul, Minnesota. Today's date is August 27th, 2023. Departure time was 10:55 in the morning. The arrival time is 12:16 according to SimBrief. Air time they gave us is 53 minutes to do the flight. Block time they gave us is an hour and 21 minutes according to SimBrief to finish the flight. Cruising altitude is 35,000 feet, which we're currently at right now. Passengers are free to move around the cabin. Cost index for today's flight is 5. Distance we're flying is 352 nautical miles. Wind is supposed to be 303 over 44. We just checked and it was 63 to 64 knots. And wind should be at 44. So there's a big discrepancy there. So I don't know if this was just a bad load or what's going on, flight crew, but we're gonna have to plan accordingly. Today's fuel, we put in 13,000. We put in close to 13,864 pounds of fuel. We tried actually. Well, max fuel. We started with 13,860 pounds of fuel. We're actually down to 10,200 and drop in fuel. So our fuel right now started at 13,806. Passengers on the and payload was 40,710. If you saw that. When we were down in Williamsburg, we took off runway 18 flight with the transition of YWG. When we go down in St. Paul, Minnesota, they want us down to runway 12R, which is going to be a LOC runway, which is a visual runway, no ILS. It's going to be visual. 12 right with the transition of BAINV3 is the transition down to St. Paul, Minnesota. All right, flight crew, that is it. You guys have been briefed other than the weather. The weather was clear skies and 72 degrees going out of Williamsburg. As you saw there, it was beautiful going out of Williamsburg. When we go down into St. Paul, Minnesota, we're looking at 65 degrees, a big difference in change, colder. 65 degrees, mostly cloudy going into St. Paul, Minnesota. 65, mostly cloudy. All right, flight crew, that is it for me. I'm going to hit the microphone on mute, as always, and enjoy chat and just check everything and watch all the instruments and get us on the sun. Since we don't have ATC, I'll just jump on when it's time for us to descend, and we'll take the plane from there. But other than that, enjoy the sounds of the plane. Since we don't have ATC, just enjoy the sounds of the plane and enjoy the views, flight crew, and I will see you guys on the set. See you then. There it is, flight crew. That's what I was looking for. Top of our descent. That little comma right there before our next vector. That's our top of our descent, which is about 94 nautical miles. So that's what I was looking for. Perfect. We're okay, flight crew. We are okay. be 65 degrees and mostly cloudy going into Minnesota. So here comes our clouds from turbulence, so let's keep an eye on that. Flight crew, there's the top of our descent right there. I don't know where our little comma went. Our comma disappeared. Remember, it was right before that. Now it's 15 miles. Where they want us down to, I believe it's 20,000 feet. Correct, 20,000. So let's go ahead and prepare the plane for that, which is we're going to pull our speed back to 250. 250 knots is entered. Perfect. Right there, like 250 knots is entered. Speed is decreasing. That is what we're looking for. That flight crew. Let's start our descent. We're going to go down to, like I mentioned one more time, they want us down to 20,000 feet and we'll follow our flight path down there. So, let's go over here, let's come up. There we go. 35,000 feet, going down to 20. This is the managed position. What happens? Does it work? Let's see what happens. Put it down in the managed position, which means you should manage 20,000 to this vector. Going ahead and do the seatbelt sign. How many miles are we on this vector for? 59 miles to get down to 20,000 feet, and right now we're at 32,100 feet. Moving the cameras a lot, like I know we have to move the cameras a lot, unfortunately. just past 28,000 feet. Flight crew still going down to 20,000 feet. Looks like they, yeah, it looks like we have 45 nautical miles to get there. We're going to get there clearly before. So the managed position hasn't worked yet. So this is what happened in other flights too. So this one, nothing to worry about. If you're playing on the Xbox S, the managed position does not work at this type of altitude. Just so you know. I'll show you where it works, and it's going to be working when we get into our approach phase. You guys check this out when we get on our approach phase. So right now it looks like we're going to hit, this is our estimator. Looks like we're going to hit 20,000 feet somewhere around here somewhere. We should be sending about 350 feet per minute at 250 knots, according to Simbri. We'll see what happens when we put it, get exactly on 20,000 feet where we're supposed to. We'll see how that matches up. Because the next descent, I believe, is 17,000 feet. So we'll put 17,000 feet in, put our vertical speed descent at 350 feet per minute, and we'll see if that lines right up with it or not at all. Our estimator will tell us exactly where we're going to be. If it's on the next vector, might be on something. If it's not even close, ah. Twenty-three 3,700 feet flight crew. Still holding 250 knots. Ground speed 348 miles per hour. Let's check our wind. I know it died down a little because we have descended. What is it at now? 37 knots. Here comes the weather, flight crew. Here comes that weather that we were briefed on. Weather's dropping down to 65 degrees. Minnesota, right? Minnesota weather. (21,100 feet). Yeah, we got the 20,000. We still have 224 nautical miles to go to hit until we're supposed to be at 20,000 feet. So, there we go. And confirm. I have confirmed this, flight crew. I have confirmed this. And do not hit it. If you're playing on the Xbox S, don't hit this on the managed position on this high of a descent. It just drops you as you would just hitting it as a free climb. I mean, as a free descent. So it treats it the same way. Where we're at now. We should be at 20,000. We're here on the white. We should be at altitude 20,000 feet. Next one's at 17,000, which we're at 20 right now. Looks like we gotta go another 18 nautical miles when we gotta be at 17. We start our descend down to 17,000 feet, and there it is. Right there, looks like we're going to start our approach phase. No, anyway, yeah, look at that. That right there, Flight Crew says we should be at 20,000 feet when we hit MILAK, MILAK. 20,000 feet, 20,000 feet, we are at 20,000 feet. Flight Crew, we are confident now. I am confident. I like it. I'll have to wait for the ATC. And we did this all like the big boys. I'm so proud. Should we try the 350 feet per minute descend? See if that matches up, because that's what SimBrief says. SimBrief says descend profile 250 knots, 350 feet per minute. Let's try it. We're going 250 knots right now. We'll put in our descending rate, descending 17,000 feet, and then we'll say we want to get there at 350 feet per minute. See if that lines up. Also, at the same time, we could just put this in the managed position. And the managed position should just do that automatically for you. But since the managed position is not working on our climb and takeoff, let's get prepared just in case it doesn't work first here. Like it looks like it's within 15 nautical miles away. We'll wait from here. This is our 5 nautical range. Once it gets within here, we'll get it prepped. We're still holding 250 knots, by the way. We're going to hold that all the way till we activate approach phase. Weather so bad, Flight Crew. Have not had much turbulence. We haven't had any weather with a lot of turbulence at all. Some of the approaches have been kind of windy, yeah, but as long as our climb and cruise and descend, it's all right on the majority of the flights. All right, within 5, let's go at 17,000 feet. 17,000 feet, that's it. We're going to climb at 15. Oh, we have 300 and a 400. That's it. Let's do 400. Let's descend at 400 feet per minute, go down to 17,000 feet, see where that puts us. Where did that put us? Right on line? That put us behind schedule? Ahead of schedule? We're technically descending 500 feet faster than what we should according to SimBrief, right? 350 is where this should be at. 17,000 right here. Let's see what this puts us at right here. 400 feet per minute. Does that put us on line? I'm going to say negative on that. We're going to abandon ship and put this in the managed position. Managed position is dropping us faster, which means we're not descending fast enough. So, I'm glad we boarded ship early. So, Xbox S users, don't use the climbing profile. At least on this flight, it didn't work. Maybe there's a way to set it up where it will. On this particular flight, it didn't work. We didn't have it set up that way. So, let's give you a heads up on that. Alright, let's see what our next descent is. Flight Crew, we're going down to 17,000 feet. Our next one will be 11,000, and that's where we will start and hit our approach phase. We'll be at 11,000 feet. Luccy, Luccy, will be at 11,000 feet in our approach. Now, also, when we pull our speed back as well, Flight Crew, we'll pull our speed back at that time 200 knots. And we'll ride that all the way in, and that'll be flaps 1. Go ahead and pre-prep. We're going to need our altimeter. So what we're going to do now, here, shrink it. 16,900 feet, flight crew. Next descent is going to be 11,000. Still holding 17,000 feet. Like we're still holding 250 knots as well. We'll about ready to make a turn right here to the left. We'll get it down to about 11,000 feet. There it is. Let's go down 11,000 feet. Good over there, flight crew, everything is good there. 16,200 feet and still descending. Let's see, flight plan says we should get 11,000 feet. We should get 11,000 feet in 5 miles. Hold it for a little bit. Then we'll get our approach phase activated and I'll show you guys something. It should work. It's worked on every other flight, but we had a rough beginning, so we'll see. Over here, let's hit the performance page. Let's get ready to activate the approach phase. We'll be down to 11,000 feet. Nothing changes on the approach. We're going to keep everything the same. Wind and everything is lining up. Actually, it looks like we'll be landing with the wind, which means, you know what that means, flight crew. Those are the planes going to be shoved down in the ground by Xbox because we are landing. If we continue to go that way, the wind blowing from the tail of the plane to the nose of the plane. So if we land, I think we are landing this way. Nose of the plane. We're going to get slammed. Beautiful descent, flight crew. Beautiful descent. Perfect. 11,900 feet. Let's come down here. Activate the approach phase. Confirm. Check. Put this back on flight plan. I'm gonna go ahead and pull our speed back to 200 knots. Oops, like one more time, hit the wrong button. There we go. 200 knots is entered. We're gonna go flaps 1. There we go. Almost there. $10,900 feet and holding flight crew. There we go. 215 knots. We just passed. Let's hit flaps 1. Let's see if ATC has yelled at us. Yep. Yes, they have. Altimeter is going to be 30.10. Thank you, ATC. Alright, flight crew, let me show you this. Flight plan, we're going to go all the way down. We catch it at 3,000 feet. So, come over here. We're going to put 3,000. Put that in the manage position. And that should just manage us all the way down, flight crew. We reactivated the approach phase. See how we're just slowly descending? That's going to slow it, take us down to each vector all the way down to equal to 3,000 feet at our final vector to catch our lock. So, that's one thing I found out was really cool. After you hit the approach phase, activate the approach phase, confirm it, go down to your flight plan if you want, see what your final descend is, enter that in the manage position. And we'll just manage you, take you down. Lever, put that to the R position. Press that the reverses. $10,400 feet. Let's do the lights. Light it up. Landing lights go to the on position. Nose light goes to the on position as well. Let's turn those wing lights on. Strobe light stays on. Nav light and logo light stays on as well. Flight crew. Perfect. 10,300 feet. We're descending. Looks like we're descending about 700 feet per minute. We'll pull our speed back. We'll go on 200. About right here, we'll go 190. And we'll get a 180 going the rest of the way. Where's our approach altimeter? So we got us on 3 at 10. So yeah, we're still sending flight crew. And we got on the managed position. Perfect. Just to make sure we're on the path right. Right now we're at 9,700. Our next spot, we need to be at 7,000 by the time we get to Kruger. K-R-U-G-G. So as long as we're at around 7,000 time we get here, we know the managed speed is working perfectly as long as we're around 7,000 right here. So it's something to base off of, manage off of if we need be, flight crew. If we need be. Looks like we got another plane coming and doing the same thing we're doing right there. Don't forget, flight crew, this is not an ILS runway. This is a LOC runway, which is visual. Flight crew, we are going to end up landing with the wind blowing with us. The wind's blowing with us, so we got to prepare for that. Nose of the plane gets shoved down. Remember that. It looks like we're going to be landing with the wind blowing from the tail of the plane to the nose of the plane. All right, let's get ready to reduce our speed a little bit, flight crew. I wish it gave us the range too. Oh, only the localizer does for me. Not that far out. 190 to 180. Yeah, okay. Let's hold 200 a little bit longer. Let's hold it. Actually, we're not really descending, so let's just do it now. We're going to go 190. We're going to activate flaps too. Perfect. 190 on this turn. Beautiful. It's not going to be big, so it's going to be a little nudge to the left. We're still descending. Now that we're sending, looks like we're sending 200 feet per minute. Oh, there it goes. Remember Kruger? We need to be at 7,000 feet at Kruger. There's Kruger 7,600 flight crew, so we are on path right now. Look at that little turn. What about the slower speed by one more time, down to 180, which is going to be our final, until we get our approach speed, which will be 135 knots. As of now, let's hold 190 for a little bit longer, then we're going to pull back to 180. Kruger, still just coming up, still just 7,000. Keep planning, get the drone cam ready, there you go, so you can see the gears come down. As long as everything comes out smooth, it should be okay. That's what I want to see, flight crew. Let's drop it down to 180. We're going to do flaps 3 now. Go ahead and hit our lock. Oh, there it is, flight crew. We are 22 miles outside the runway. Localizer is not going to work. We'll hit the lock like I mentioned. We're passing Kroger versus Kruger. Kruger should start our descent again. Oh, this isn't ILS. That is interesting. This was the LOC. You guys saw it when we set it up. It was the LOC. Looks like we got localizer. Well, I will take a localizer. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go ahead and hit the approach phase. Get us lined up here. Interesting. That's bonus, flight crew. That's a bonus. We'll take the localizer. We will. (6,000 feet, flight crew still descending down to catching our glide slope at 3,000 feet. Just gotta keep zooming in. We are, flight crew, right there, 18 miles outside the runway. 18 miles. We'll just hold 180 till we get, I would say, at least it will get closer to the 3,000 feet. Well, outside real quick. One more time, and probably many more, flight crew. Minnesota. Probably many times. It's a big airport, right? I mean, come on, snow. We know we're coming back for this. We know we're coming back for this snow. All right, cross check for approach. Yep. Reversers down to the R, ready for easier to get in reverse. Yep. The lights are all on. Perfect. So we got two planes in front of us, one to the left, one to the right, one just went over here, one's right there. There, flight crew. Wind right now is blowing from the tail of the plane to the nose of the plane. So once again, let's brace for that little glitch where it throws the nose down. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna flare it. Flare it to 30 feet. Flight crew, 12 miles outside the runway. That's good enough for speed back. We're going to go 135 knots now. Yeah, we got that tailwind blowing us too. 135 knots is entered. Let's go ahead and go full flaps on this. Okay, 30.010, we're going to keep it there. We have armed our localizer Just waiting for it to be engaged. It won't be engaged until we get about 3,000 feet, which is what we already have entered in and on the managed system, and as well that go around. If we need to go around 3,000 feet, that go around micro. $65 degrees. Remember that, flight crew. What is the wind blowing at? 2,500. Check. What's the wind blowing at? Oh, it's only 4 to 5 knots. Okay, that's not too bad. 4 to 5 knots. That's not too bad. We can do that. Okay, but still, there may be that glitch though. Don't. Flight crew, we just reached 3,000 feet. And flight crew, the ice slope is engaged. There's that is again, downtown Minnesota. So already planning, flight crew, we're gonna overflare just a little for that glitch with the wind. Actually, look at that. It swapped. It's going from the right to the left. We're actually okay. We're actually okay. Just plan for it. Just heads up. $1,300 feet. Let's go gears down. Oh, listen to the spoilers too. Yes, yeah. Alright, go up here. See the reversers. Ground spoilers, up and armed. Medium on the auto brakes. Runway lights come on, wing lights come off. 1,000 feet, flight crew. That's when it's gonna be my plane. I'll see you on the ground. Grabbing it in, flight crew. Look at that. All that wind is pushing us to the left. Can you see it? We are crabbing it in, flight crew. Can you see that? We are, ooh, we're that way. Ooh, we're that way, flight crew. 500. 500 feet, continue. 400. 400 feet. All that wind, flight crew, it's making us work for it. 300. Continue. 300. Off like that wind. 200. Oh, the wind. 100. Oh, the wind. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5. Goes down. Goes down. Reversers. Ooh, like this. Made us work. Made us work. There's 60 knots. Let's get those reversers stored. Let's get the auto brake off. Flight crew, welcome down. Minnesota. Roll it out. Looks like everybody's to the left. We'll just go to the left right here. Go ahead and stop. Slow the plane down a little bit. Go. Throttle in the neutral position. We're going to put the brake on. Flaps come up to 10. We have a tablet. We have a tablet. Let's go over here. Let's hit home. Let's hit the settings. Ready for taxi. That should put everything where you want except for just strobe light on. Alright, lean on. Master APU start. And then we want our taxi brake max. Alright, flight crew. What'd you think? Our first flight using the McDo. What do you guys think? Minneapolis ground taxi to gate. Giving the engine some power. Let's release that. Brake. Mobilizer comes off. Flight director comes off. Flight crew. Yeah. What do you think? First time using the McDo. We did it. We did it. Very nice. Back to Minnesota. 65 degrees. Oh. Where I'm. A little dippy. Oh, look at that landing. Look at that coming in. Woo. Nice. I'm St. Paul. Where are you sending us, huh? Where are you sending us? Oh, that was a nice shot of a plane. Overhead. For the second time, Polaroid for Minnesota. Minnesota. Yes. But flight crew, we did it with the McDo. We started from a cold and dark spot, went into the McDo, typed in the flight plan, which we haven't done before, which had a direct out. I have to go back and confirm that. But even with it, we're still able to conquer it, overcome that, overcome the managed climb and do it ourselves, overcome the managed speed and do it ourselves until we're able to activate the approach phase where it took over itself and bring her down. So we had some things pop up that we were able to overcome and do. That's awesome, flight crew. And we got the plane down safe, well within the touch zone. Great. I don't know about great landing, but it felt smooth to me. Felt smooth to me. I saw the back wheels hit. Our nose, I released. Our nose came down. Yeah. What a great way to start the week on a Sunday, flight crew. What a way to start the week. Come on, St. Paul. Where are you taking us? I see all these perfect gates over here. As always, I know, flight crew. I know the stopwatch. I know. Let's see where it's at. How much fuel did we use? 2 hours and 20 minutes. What was the fuel we used? Ooh, there was 6,000 gallons left of fuel. Nice. And that was just keeping it in the managed position the whole time. Like we just. Well, actually, no, that's right. We did what the managed position would have done. It was our controls. But yeah, we kept it 270, 320 on the climb. 250 on the descend, and 200 to 190 and 180 on, and 135 on final. There we go, flight crew. This is us to the right. We have to go all the way down and around. Can't cut through right here. That sounds about right. Clear the planes first. Look at all the planes parked. Not too bad. Not too bad. Our electronic bat ready with lights. Right there. Yeah. This time runway lights can come off. Oh, those be on. Landing lights. Positioning. Yeah. Strobe light off as well. Good now. Alright, here comes our big U-turn. Alright. And we are right there, right up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7th one. We're the 7th. Alright, this is us. Everybody's waiting. We want us to go to the right. Got it. Got it. Alright, straight. Coming in. it. Parking brake set. Engines to the neutral position. Seatbelt sign is off. Lights come on. Turn off. Nope. One more time. Lights come on. Oh man. There we go. Lights come on. Flaps get cleaned up for ground crew. Lights come off. And then let's go ahead and kill engine 1. Wait for engine 1 to be below 20% so we can connect the jetway and turn off engine 2. There we go. Let's turn off engine 2. Jetway coming through. Main cabin door is open. One more time, flight crew. Welcome down. Welcome back to Minnesota. We are back down. And over here, ATC. Let's get catering services. Actually, let's do this, flight crew. Let's see what our total flight time was first before we do all that. Let's hit home. Let's hit the settings. Cold and dark. An hour and 15 minutes, flight crew. Took us on the dot, not 1 second. Even hour and 15 seconds. I mean, are we ever going to have that ever again? An hour and 15 flat. That's funny. All right, let's see what Simbri said. Simbri, the big drum roll, and then pull it up. Oh, that's terrible. Simbri said we should finish this flight in 53 minutes. It took us an hour and 15 minutes, and we went managed speed. Well, interesting. Anyway, the block time to finish the flight was an hour and 21 minutes, so we were within the block time of hour 21 minutes. But unfortunately, we lost this one big time. We were super delayed, super late arrival, going off of Simbri for 53 minutes. So that is weird. But other than that, flight crew, we used the McDo. We got in. We created our flight plan. We're in Minnesota. Hopefully, getting out here is going to be a lot better than doing that small airport out of Canada, out of Williamsburg. So going forward, we'll be doing that. They're using the McDo, joining those big boy people. So once again, flight crew, we did it. We're coming up, but that is it. Start the Sunday. We'll be back Monday afternoon around 4 or 5-ish Arizona time. But other than that, I am out. It is Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope you had a great weekend as well. And I will see you guys. I'll see you guys Monday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the sounds of the game. Enjoy the baggage crew. Enjoy that. Other than that, flight crew, Phoenix Black Knight, I'm out. See you later. Sorry, I forgot to mention, if you like the content, if you like the flight, please hit that subscribe and hit that follow button. Follow along, come fly with us. We're a fun time. I forgot to mention that. So hit the subscribe, hit the follow, come along with us. Now I'll see you guys Monday. See you later.